Hello all, I am Ronita Chakraborty from Salesian College, Siliguri, Department of Education, and the topic that I will be dealing with is Medieval System of Education from the paper History of Education in Ancient and Medieval India for second semester honours student. This lecture is in continuation with the previous lecture, and the lecture will basically focus on the educational institution or the teaching institutions during the Islamic education and the curriculum being followed in those institutions. If we look into the Islamic period or the Islamic education, the education was basically divided into two stages, that is the primary and the higher stage. The institute which dealt with the primary education or the elementary level education were known as maktabs, and the institution which dealt with education at higher level was known as madrasa. Let us now try understanding about the maktab. Maktab, or the word maktab rather, has been derived from the Arabic word kutub, which means a place where reading and writing is taught. In medieval period, these maktabs were generally located within the mosques and were mostly single teacher institution. That is, only one teacher was there for teaching all subjects in that particular institute. Although Parda system was very much in practice, yet girls and boys studied together in maktabs. The students who were admitted in the maktabs were admitted through an initiation ceremony. The admitting into the maktabs took place at the age of 4 years, 4 months and 4 days. This particular ceremony or the initiation ceremony was referred to as the process of admission, and it was known as the Bismillah Khwani ceremony. The students in this particular ceremony was presented before the teacher in new clothes. The teacher made the student repeat some verses of the religious text or the Quran. In case if the students were unable to repeat the verses, the teacher asked the student to pronounce Bismillah. The word Bismillah as such means in the name of Allah. So therefore, the students began their education in the name of Allah. If we look into the buildings of the maktabs, as I have priorly mentioned, maktabs were located within the mosques, and in general, the students sat on the ground in rows under the shade of a tree, and the teacher used a mat or deer skin to sit and teach the students. Many a times it has also been observed that the teachers attended to the students while standing. If we look into the curriculum in maktabs, during those days it was observed that there were no printed books for beginners. Therefore, the students used wooden books or taktis. Basically, the students were taught Quran after they had learned about alphabets. Once they have finished with their basic learning, stress was also given on calligraphy. Beautiful and fine handwriting was considered to be an important element of instruction. In maktabs, the students were taught grammar because teaching of grammar was considered to be very important in learning languages. Religious instruction was provided to the students through the basic tenets or philosophy of the Quran. Apart from the Quran, the students were also taught the books known as Gulistan and Bustan. These two were famous poems written by the poet Firdausi. Apart from this, the students were also taught numbers or arithmetic, and they were known as paharas. Pahars actually mean multiples of numbers. The students were supposed to memorize these while uttering collectively in a loud voice. The famous Persian Islamic philosopher and teacher Ibn Sina, who is also known as Avicenna in the West, wrote that the children could learn better if they were taught in the classes instead of individual tuitions from private teachers. As a result, maktabs focused on providing students scenarios or situations where they could evolve their skills of competition, group discussion and debate. He had also observed that the curriculum of the maktab described into two stages. One stage, which focused on the secondary education stage, also employed that the students acquire manual skills apart from the basic skills that they were taught. These manual skills focused on vocational education, and it was imparted to the student regardless of their social status. Usually, education in maktab lasted for the age of 14 years, after which the students on completion would be capable enough to go into higher education or into madrasas. Now, as we move on to the next level, which was known as higher education level, and it was imparted in the madrasa. The word madrasa has been derived from the Arabic word daras, which means to deliver speech. Generally, the higher education during the medieval period was imparted through the speech of lecture. Therefore, institutions where teaching was carried out by lecture method was designated as madrasa. The madrasas in the medieval period were mostly located either in the state capital or in big cities. Contemporary kings and emperors contributed a lot in the establishment of the madrasas, the buildings, libraries, hostels, etc. Madrasas were multi-teacher institutions, unlike the maktabs, which were single-teacher institutions. The teachers were paid very high salary in the madrasas from the state development fund. Ibn Battuta, a famous poet and an author, in his memoir Rihla, has mentioned that most of the madrasas had huge libraries. These libraries contained large number of books on Islamic religion, Arabic and Persian literature. They were well furnished teacher dwellings and student hostels, apart from parks, lakes and sports ground for entertainment. Non-vegetarian food were served in the hostels to the students. In medieval period, the entire expenditure of the madrasa was borne by the state, but certain internal management was managed completely by the teachers. Different committees consisting of teachers were formed to look after the different activities of the madrasa. Non-examination was conducted in the medieval period. As such, on the completion of education, the students were declared pass, or the students were considered eligibility of clearing that particular level of education only on the recommendation of teachers. If we look into the evaluation system that was followed in madrasa, they usually followed a system wherein grades were divided into 3 qualitative grades. Those who specialized in Islamic religion were called as Amil. Those who specialized in Arabic and Persian literature were called as Kamil, whereas those who specialized in philosophy were called as Fazil. So depending on their specialization and their caliber in each of these levels, students were awarded these 3 degrees. Apart from these 3 degrees, there was another degree which was provided to those students who possessed equal amount of caliber and ability and proficiency in all the 3 levels, that is, in religion, in languages and literature, as well as in philosophy. Such students were called as Qabil, and only the Qabil were appointed at higher post in the administration. If we look into the curriculum of the madrasas, in the madrasas, the curriculum was very broad in nature. It was divided into 2 categories, namely the worldly and the religious category. As such, in the madrasas, the students were taught subjects which included knowledge about the worldly curriculum that were Arabic and Persian languages and their literature, mathematics, geometry, history, geography, economics, political science, astrology. Apart from this, the students were also taught about Islamic law, Unani medicine, and various arts and skills and vocation. This was the curriculum that was followed essentially under the worldly curriculum. Under the religious curriculum, the students were taught subjects which were related to the Quran, Islamic history, Islamic literature, Sufi literature, Islamic law, also known as Shariat. Emperor Akbar always followed a liberal policy. As such, during his rule, when we look into the curriculum followed in the madrasas, he made provision for the education of Sanskrit language, Vedic religion, and the philosophy and Vedic literature in some madrasas. Apart from these two most commonly known educational institutes under the Islamic education, we also have certain other institutes. These institutes were known as Khankas, which were centers of primary education, Dargahs, which were also centers of primary education. Apart from that, religious education was imparted in Quran schools, or we also have Persian Quran schools where Persian language was taught apart from religious knowledge. Apart from these institutes, we also have Persian schools where higher learning was specifically on the focus given to Persian language and Islamic culture. Apart from this, there was also Arabic school which focused on higher education with reference to Arabic language and literature. These were some of the educational institutes and the curriculum that was broadly followed in all the institutes with regard to education under medieval system, especially in reference to Islamic education. Thank you all.